Super Mario RPG on the SNES is an interesting game. It's the first of its kind, being a Mario RPG, which would later spawn other Mario RPG series like Paper Mario and Mario & Luigi. But despite that, I feel like more people talk about the other RPG series of Mario, probably because there are more installments. But also, it's a game I hear praised a lot, but at the same time I hear a lot of people say they haven't played it. To me, it's always been a great game that has sort of just existed, you know, and that's not a bad thing, it's just puts in a weird spot, I feel. And as someone who played it before, but not a whole lot of it, I was really excited when they announced a remake of Super Mario RPG, because I thought it was a game that could have greatly benefited from a remake. And after playing it, I can comfortably say that it's a super faithful remake of a classic done right. But let's talk about it. Hi guys, DPX here, reviewing today Super Mario RPG, the remake. Now before we get started, you know what to do. Be sure to like this video, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell and leave a comment, or I will take over your castle. Starting off with the good, since this is more of like a one-to-one remake, which I don't think I've done a review of, at least like not since I've changed up sort of the way I do my reviews. I kind of got to review it a little differently. The main thing here is what they changed. Of course, the most noticeable change is the visuals. Super Mario RPG honestly looks amazing, possibly one of the best looking games on the Switch. Hell, if I didn't know any better, I probably would have thought that this was a brand new game. Another thing changed is the music, sort of. The music is actually the same, but it's all remixed, and all the remixes are really solid. The original Super Mario RPG has an incredible soundtrack with some iconic songs that you've probably heard of in like the background of YouTube videos, but did not realize it was from this game. So it's really cool to hear great new renditions, like official renditions, especially the iconic Forest Maze theme. What else is cool is the option to switch the music back to the original versions. It's unnecessary, and I feel like most remakes wouldn't even bother with something like that, but it's a really nice touch. They also made changes to the combat, which I think is really cool. It feels a lot more precise and satisfying, and the many upgrades available to your moves are cool too. And on top of that, there are full cutscenes in this game, like fully rendered and animated cutscenes. Obviously, the original game kinda had cutscenes, but it was limited because of the SNES. But now we got full-on cutscenes, and they are all just so cool. They look so detailed and so flashy and just so cool. But while there are many changes to the game to make it better, Super Mario RPG still remains very faithful to its original SNES game. All the quirky and expressive animations from the characters are still here, but obviously improved. The story remains the same and the dialogue is the same too. And more on the dialogue, it's very funny. This game knows what it is and pokes fun at itself. There was a worry that some jokes were gonna change, but they didn't. These are the same jokes, and that's awesome. Super Mario RPG also kind of takes advantage of the fact that it's sort of just its own story and very separate from the other Mario platformers. Bowser isn't really a villain, in fact, he's a party member. Peach isn't really a damsel in distress, in fact, she's a party member. The villain is Smithy, who is a giant sword. That's really wacky and dumb and cool. I just realized I've said the word cool a lot, and I think I still say it quite a bit, but I digress. Plus, it's great to see Geno and Mallow back. Geno is quite famously a very popularly requested character for Super Smash Bros., and Mallow was always the other character from Mario RPG. Like, people would only bring up Mallow, and it was like, there's Geno, and then there's Mallow. But it's just so nice seeing the lovable wooden puppet and the lovable cloud marshmallow looking prince guy, who also happens to be a frog, which, by the way, I hate frogs, but but I'll make an exception for Mallow. But beyond that, you get a bunch of villains, enemies, NPCs, and areas that we've never seen in any other Mario game, so it really helps Super Mario RPG stand out. I know that's more of a praise to the original game, and not so much the remake, but the remake does a stellar job bringing it all back, and improving upon it. Now on to the mixed. These are some things I'm not quite sure if they fall under the good or the bad, so I have them here. And the only thing I'm mixed on, even though I talked about, I love the faithfulness to the original game, but it is worth noting that Super Mario RPG Remake is very one-to-one. Like the SNES game, if you've played it, this is a much better version of that game, but it is kind of the same thing, just better. I don't particularly have a problem with that. In fact, I would like to see Nintendo do this more with like some of their, sort of forgotten SNES games or N64 games, or certain games that like maybe haven't been forgotten, but people have been wanting a re-release or remake of. Earthbound, anybody? It's more something to be aware of. But personally, I wish we could have maybe gotten like an extra star or maybe a new party member, like Luigi maybe. Just throwing that out there. It's more of a what if as opposed to it being an actual complaint, which is why it's under the mixed. Now on to the bad. There are two issues I have, and one is really more of a nitpick than anything else. I'll start with said nitpick, and that is, while I think it's really cool that there are full cutscenes in this game, the dialogue is a little awkward. Obviously, it would feel very out of place and random for characters to speak full sentences when no Mario character is known for doing that, but during cutscenes, there will be like white text on the bottom that shows a character's dialogue. It's just a little awkward. I would have maybe preferred if like they threw in dialogue boxes, like how they do in NPC interactions and battles, instead of just white text. The other issue I have is that Super Mario RPG is just a little too easy. I know the original game was like this, but since this is a remake, I would have liked maybe a new difficulty option because the game's just a bit too easy. But that's really about it. Overall, while it's a little too much on the easy side and it isn't too awfully different from its SNES counterpart, the Super Mario RPG Remake is a rare example of a remake of a classic that improves just about everything. Pretty much any change it makes, it's a change made for the better. It changes what needed to be changed while keeping everything charming about the original game intact, as it still feels distinct enough for Mario. All that being said, I give Super Mario RPG a 9 out of 10. So that's my review for Super Mario RPG. It took a classic game and made it even better. What do you guys think of it? Do you guys agree? Do you guys agree with me? Do you guys not agree with me? I know this review is going up a bit late. I beat the game a few days ago. I kind of just sat on this, but yeah. What do you guys think of the game, though? Do you guys like it, not like it? Have you guys played the game, not played the game? And if you haven't played the game, do you guys want to play the game, not want to play the game? Anything about the game, let me know down below. Anyways, be sure to like this video, come subscribe, or I will steal your castle. Bye!